today I'd like to talk about a sun-moon combination. In men in particular, okay? But, like, it could be, I'm coming from that angle, is what I'm trying to say. Because there were two up-and-coming actors that I paid close attention to in 2020 in particular. And the first one I watched, I got Hulu to watch the series Normal People, okay? Because I needed to see it. It wasn't even a matter of wanting. I needed to see it, and it did not disappoint. And I've seen it about a dozen times. I watch that almost every year. So, yeah. Paul Mescal, and then at the end of 2020, right, Christmas week, I probably watched it Christmas week, if not like very shortly after the new year, the first season of Bridgerton, because I love a period piece in the wintertime, especially involving any and all of Great Britain. Okay. So I watched Bridgerton, and up and comer for me, well, Benny is my brother. Benny is my brother, I'm going to say. But I was very, very captivated by Colin as well because of his storyline, and also just the way that Luke acted as him. It was just really interesting. I knew something was special about him. Well, wouldn't you know that of the two people that I honed in on, that I was like, oh, shoot, these guys are like, they're going to blow up. I didn't know for sure. But of course I do what Megan does. And I look up the birth charts or the ephemeris. I usually, up-and-comers don't have their time. There's usually, so Astro Theme is a website where there are people that you can verify birth information because it comes directly from the source, directly from the celebrity. Like it's been recorded on a birth certificate, the birth time and location, or it comes from a family member or something like that, but it's always verified. But only those who have been in the spotlight a while usually have a completed birth chart. So, of course, I look up the ephemeris. I don't even want to deal with Astro Theme. I'm like, I'm just going to read the ephemeris because I'm an astrologer, and I go to my charts. I can read them. So it turns out that Paul Mescal and Luke Newton both have Aquarius sun, Cancer moon. Okay. Aquarius sun, Cancer moon. Luke Newton was born in 1993. And let me just double check-a-rooney over here because I don't remember what year. I always want to say that Paul Mescal was born in 1996. Yep, he was born in 1996. There's a couple of actors that were born between 1993 and 1997, and I'm always getting their ending digit mixed up. Okay. So why did I want to talk about this? I wanted to talk about this because sometimes I come across certain pieces of information, like blind items or, and I skim over them. I'm not really detailed. I don't do any online investigating. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I hear something and I go, that's interesting. And then what I normally do is I will sit with it. And then my brain is sort of like like your brain sort of, well, this is how mine works. It like categorizes things. It connects one thing with like another thing almost instantly. And then I start to form these ideas and I go, okay. Because in the summertime of 2024, I remember feeling as though, okay, when I found out that Luke was no longer with his girlfriend Jade, because once I looked that up in 2021, I was like, oh, he's in a relationship. Bye. I don't know why. It was just, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm happy. They're so cute. And I was like, oh, he likes himself a full-bodied woman. I was happy to see that, you know? So yeah, I was like, I didn't look back on that. I didn't see that they had broken up, but then I found all of this out in the spring when I did a little research, because people were chirping about him having a new girlfriend. And I was like, what? I thought he had a girlfriend. So I didn't know. So I looked it up. Now, the initial feeling that I had about his breakup with Jade, if I'm going to be completely honest, is that was really hard for him. And I think him spending some time working on himself was necessary, but I'm not entirely sure that Luke Newton did that prior to getting with the other one, or whoever was in between. There could be people that he dated that we don't even know about. Okay. So I just got this feeling that he was not over his relationship with Jade, that there was some residual energy that was there. There was something that had loose ends, that wasn't tied up. Like there was something he couldn't get over. Okay. And I kept this to myself because, well, I didn't really intentionally do it. I just kind of forgot about it. And I'm thinking about it now. That's really what happened. And so I kind of feel like, because I'm seeing it happen with Paul Mescal too. Aquarius sun, Cancer moon. Which is very, the reason why it's so strange to me is because they are Aquarius men, okay? Most notably, they are known for being non-committal, okay? Why? Because they want to be free. They want to be liberated. They don't want to be tied down. They're the wanderers. They're the nomads, right? They just want to be free. Leave, like, no. No one's gonna hold me down. No. I'm not doing this cookie cutter, this like, I'm not doing it. Like, nothing about an Aquarius is like traditional at all. They're eccentric, right? But if an Aquarius meets somebody who aligns with their eccentricities and happily obliges to the things that they are fine with succumbing to, that may be traditional, but don't push for more. That's an Aquarius. That Aquarius is going to be hooked, I think. But the Cancer moon is where I understand the longing and the inability to move on from relationships. Look at Taylor Swift, Cancer moon. She writes about she writes love songs about her relationships with certain people, and they happen to be celebrities themselves, most of them. So, there is all of the water signs, and I speak from experience. I have Cancer rising. I have a stellium of planets, 4 planets in the sign of Scorpio, In sign, out of house, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. Just leave it up to me to be born with the 2 malefics in the 4th. Oh, my childhood. Anyway, there is a tendency for water signs to live in their past. Sometimes it starts out innocently, like, I want to think about all those good things that happened. And then we go back and we think about all those good things that happened. And then when we come back to our present moment, we can get really depressed that stuff is not here anymore. And then it turns into this sort of pity, crying my eyes out, like sobbing into my journal. Like, this is the stuff I went through as a teenager and like in my 20s. I'm not joking. So it's just this, it's just something that's in us. We're mushy, and we definitely look back on the past way too much. So that's why that Cancer moon mix with the Aquarius sun is to me very hard hitting, because they will have a tendency to find they will find people that they enjoy being with, that become their friends first, and then eventually their lovers and all of that. So if that isn't the case here, with Paul being having not let go of Phoebe Bridgers before entering into his relationship with what is her name? What is her name? The one. I can't think of her name. The girl he was with. It just slipped my mind, and I'm like wandering all over the internet to try to find it, and I still can't because I'm me. So, Cancer Sun, Aquarius Moon has a tendency to be friends first, and then their emotions become involved. And they will grip and wrap around something that they've decided is really liberating for them. Like a person that really is my best friend. They just start there. They always start there. And I think it's great. But then again, I have my moon in Aquarius, so I like that too. I don't see someone and I'm immediately attracted to them. I don't look at people that way. It's very rare that it happens at all, and it has happened. Okay, it's not finite. It has happened. Okay, where I've interacted very briefly with someone, and I'm like, "Yup, that one, please." But they, it's for me. It's always an intellectual conversation that leads to more of that really, it makes me feel safe and comfortable and intrigued. It really entices me, and I love it. So let me read to you a minute about Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Cancer, from a wonderful book called Sun Sign, Moon Sign by the Harveys, which I think is should be in the pocket of any astrologer. Sun Sign, Moon Sign is one of the greatest tools for beginners, because beginners will start with a sun sign, they will move to a moon sign, and then it's really cool if you stop there and then you look at the relationships between the sun and the moon in your birth chart, and then you could get a better understanding of the people around you, because you probably have their moon signs. I look up everybody's moon sign. Moon signs to me, probably, I don't know, I favor it because I'm a Cancer rising. Yeah, the moon sign. So the moon is the people too. So we can see a little bit more about how they interact with people from looking at the moon as well. So the sun in Aquarius, moon in Cancer. Oh my God. Of all the things to start with, this is Bridgerton related. This is so synchronistic. How funny. Because the Harveys will always start with quotes from people in history that have this same sun and moon combination. And the first one is from Lord Byron, who they make fun of and they just read for filth in Bridgerton if you've watched it. Okay. The best of prophets of the future is the past. Did I not just talk about that? Did I not just talk about them being hooked on the past? What is poetry? The suggestion by the imagination of noble grounds for the noble emotions. And that is John Ruskin. And then last but not least, Simone Weil. I am aware of very strong gregarious tendencies in myself. My natural disposition is to be very easily influenced, and above all, by anything collective. I have chills on the right side of my head. So the air water is now going to, the Harveys in this book are going to explain what the themes are for this sun and moon combination. Air water, humanitarian, vivid imagination, idealistic, compassionate and helpful, social conscience, companionable, popular, lofty emotions, progressive thinker, but emotionally old-fashioned. Oh, I love it. Me. A sensitive individualist, democratic spirit, the kind-hearted rebel, love it, the friend of the people, oh, the poet and the social worker. It's just these themes of both the Aquarius sun and the Cancer moon. And sometimes they're in opposition. Sometimes they are just totally like, they're different, right? But not in an opposites sort of way. There can be complementary things between these two signs that seemingly have nothing to do with the other. Because if you look at Aquarius, right? Aquarius, the opposite sign to Aquarius is Leo. But if you go 1.1 sign back, there you have a connection between Aquarius and Cancer, which is making it's making an inconjunction. Okay, this is not something that, it's called a quincunx in astrology and in geometry, which is a placement that is as difficult to reconcile as it is to pronounce. They don't have anything in common. They have different, they have differing elements. Okay, they don't really see each other. Differing elements. They have different modalities. Aquarius is fixed, Cancer is cardinal, and it's just this thing, it's like they don't really get, I don't know, they don't see eye to eye. Okay, They see each other, right? And they appreciate the other being there, but they don't really always see eye to eye. I mean, Cancer is really an emotionally attached, just thriving inside of emotion, kind of thing. It's the maternal, it's the moon, it's everything. It's very connected to the emotional and internal world. It's the yin, it's the divine feminine, Aquarius is it's got two rulers, traditionally Saturn. In Western astrology, it's Uranus. I consider both because I'm cool like that. But Aquarius can be a little bit of an up and down energy, but they're more like, I want to free myself, and then I want to free everybody else, and like we can all be best friends. And they're innovators, they're inventors. They are inventors. Okay, look back on at the history of our greatest inventors in all of time. There will be Aquarius placements there. But yeah, they're innovators. They are eccentric, and they popularize things where they had no intention to do so. So they'll wear something cool, and then the next day, every single person is wearing that thing. And they go, that was what? Think for yourself. I thought for myself, and now you're thinking, no, this is not you. So they don't like popular things. They're kind of like, all right, they're kind of like people that will like show up to a dinner just wearing like a funky hat, or like a top hat or something. So it's just, like they're just weird and they don't care. Okay. Okay. So the Harveys go on to say they are querying the people with this combination. Are you the sort of person who sets out to buy a book on homemade wine, but returns with a treatise on the future of modern society? And why is it that when you feel like putting your feet up by the fire with cakes just like Mother used to make, you end up spending the evening at the local charity meeting? It is something to do with your fondness for folks and the warm popularity that this brings you. You cannot help getting involved in some way because you were born with a very developed social conscience. You possess a healthy self-respect and feel that others deserve the same, no matter where they come from. Although you may have eccentric ideas, you are blessed with the common touch. You can listen with great perception and respond with understanding and sensitivity. Your heart yearns for shared intimacy, but your head pursues objective truth and collective concerns. Although you have a logical, scientific mind, you are actually drawn to things because of your great feeling for them. That's so cool. It is this personal feeling for larger causes, Luke Newton, and for the family of man that you are able to communicate to people. And therefore, you are capable of truly motivating the masses. Say the moon is the people. When at peace with yourself, you possess a most pleasantly paradoxical personality, in conjunction. For you are a friendly, modern, future-oriented visionary whose inspiration derives from the cradle of the past. Wherever you have belonged in terms of family, community, or nation, you will carry it with you as a central inner drama into your future. Traditional values inform all you do, even if you are not consciously aware of them, and irrespective of whether you kick against them or embrace them utterly. It is easy for you to get attached to beliefs and to remain unaware of the influence of your security needs. But one of your potentially great strengths is holding and honoring the best values from the past without becoming a slave to them. For your Aquarian spirit is 2 steps ahead of everyone else, see? And must feel free to add its unique contribution. Amen. You come into your own where the personal and impersonal meet, where your personal feelings, lofty ideals, and social conscience can work fruitfully together, as in teaching, politics, social work, art, literature, or drama. Hello? Actors, thespians. You will aim to justify your love of something by studying and analyzing it and finding out how it is valid for others. Wow. In this way, you often end up universalizing your personal experiences and turn them into a cause, into a mission. Your best creativity hinges on the acknowledgement that you are not only the past, but also the future. Not only collective, but also personal. Not only an observer, but also a passionate participant in the panorama of life and human history. I love the Harveys so much. Now, let's take a break here and talk about how, even though these are 2 signs that don't really have anything in common, they're still living within the native, and they are very personal to the native. In fact, they are the most personal. The luminaries are the most personal. Anything that is closer to us is the slower moving outer planets don't affect us necessarily as personally as the inner moving, faster moving planets. So the luminaries are the closest to us, right? They're in Earth's orbit. So yeah, yeah. It's just a very interesting take to look at things like someone who might, an Aquarius who might detach from emotion, but also feel for contributing to a greater cause to help their fellow man, right? And then the Cancer is, I love this because the Cancer also wants to give. Cancer's the giver of the emotional nurturing and support that a person needs. Okay, they're there for people, and they like being there for people. And they like to be able to not only pour their own emotions into something worthwhile, but using their emotions for a greater cause, because this is about the moon. The moon is in the sign of Cancer in this sun moon combination. And the moon rules the sign of Cancer. So it's in its home sign, in the sign of Cancer. The sun, however, is in its fall in the sign of Aquarius, because the sign that the sun rules is Leo, which is Aquarius's opposite. So the sun is in its fall, and then the moon is in Cancer. It's just so good because it's a nice balance. You don't have to feel, you're not necessarily going to feel the detriment of that sun placement, or but you definitely will feel the exaltation of the moon placement for sure, and that can balance things out. It really balances things out. That's all I wanted to say. So your conscious Aquarian side, this is about relationships. Your conscious Aquarian side has a charming, naive, detached way of studying and scrutinizing others, as if each person were a fascinating object d'art in a museum. Underneath the cool, friendly veneer is a very vulnerable, clannish, possessive heart, which needs lots of affection and a sense of belonging. You can be moved to tears by a memory, but then seemingly indifferent to the emotional needs of your nearest and dearest if they are too cloying. So there you go. I can identify with my own emotions, okay? But when people become too emotional with me, okay, and they're cloying, I am indifferent to it, okay? So needing space, but also a cozy niche where you are the special one, you are not always the easiest person to live with. Basically, you suffer from the freedom closeness dilemma. You want emotional security, but also freedom to do your own thing, to keep a few doors open. That's it. You think you are independent, but old behavior patterns will shape your responses to loved ones now more than you care to admit. The more you become aware of this, the more freely will you be able to give and receive love without the nagging suspicions and fear, and without the knee-jerk escapist reaction. Your romantic soul can relax, open up, and enjoy the human exchange that is so vital to your well-being. So their greatest strengths are, it's almost done, genuine warmth and capacity for intelligent kindness, far-reaching imagination, devotion to both truth and the uplifting of human life, ability to express universal insight through personal images. Your greatest weaknesses: unconscious prejudices, ability to rationalize irrational actions, a tendency to get absorbed in abstract causes which cuts you off from your feelings and keeps you emotionally immature. So they might actually have a lower emotional quotient. Okay? Images for integration. This is my favorite part, where the Harveys get really creative here, and they give you sort of like this imagine this with me. And this is the thing that in my imagination encapsulates this sun-moon combination. And they call it images for integration. A social worker bypasses bureaucracy to save a mother and child. Ooh! A childhood memory becomes the basis of a new world order. Oh my God. Oh, I love this. So pick up this book. Famous personalities that have Aquarius, Sun, Cancer, Moon. Humphrey Bogart, Lord Byron, Christian Dior, Farrah Fawcett, Clark Gable, John Hurt. Oh, I love John Hurt. Oh, if you guys have never seen this movie with John Hurt and Christian Bale, it's called All the Little Animals. It was an independent film. I have it on DVD though. It's wonderful, and there's a part in it that has always stayed with me, and I think I kind of like I've used it in life. So anyway, yeah, John Hurt, he's the best. He plays, if you don't know who John Hurt is, he's the one that sells the wands to everybody in Diagon Alley. And it's where Harry Potter goes to buy his wand. Norman Mailer. Ooh. Franklin D. Roosevelt, girl. John Ruskin, Babe Ruth, Simone Weil, Boris Yeltsin. Wow. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to bring this up because I feel like, I wouldn't be surprised that an Aquarius, Sun, Cancer, Moon would have a relationship with a woman, and would then there would be some kind of breakup and some emotional cutting of ties, and then and try to get over them, and they think they're doing some kind of work on it, but really they're avoiding it. And they're thinking back on the good memories too much, and then they realize once they come to that all of that is not real and not here in their present moment, and then they become really hungry for it, and so they go out and they probably enter into a relationship before they're ready to. And we're seeing that with the blind items, especially that have come out about Paul Mescal and his recent girlfriend, whose name still escapes me. Abrams, something Abrams. Her dad is J.J. Abrams. He made one of the best TV series, in my opinion, of all time, called Felicity. And yes, I'm standing on that. I love Felicity. I watch it every fall. I start watching season 1. When the fall comes in, I will at least watch a couple of episodes and then move on. I did it this past year. So, but yeah, it's on Hulu. So you can watch it on there. Even though all the original music is not, in those, like if you're streaming a TV show from the 90s, I really don't think that... I hate that they changed the music, because the original music is so 90s. It goes with everything. And some of the music, the songs that were used in season 1 of Felicity, for example, were repeated throughout the season. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling again. I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy to report that I'm feeling 100%. My stomach is a little tender, but it's not. I'm not feeling any pain. I'm just feeling a little residual tenderness today. And I just wanted to talk about this topic, and I really hope it was of some kind of interest to you. And if so, please let me know in the comments. I'm sending you so much love now and always.